Hey everyone, it's June 29th, 2020. This is Par for the Discourse. I'm here in Madrid. Nicole and Erica's in Brooklyn, bright and early, drinking her coffee. Normally we don't record. Today's a Monday. Normally we record on a Sunday, but we had a little bit of, some prior engagements to handle yesterday. And I thought we could start by talking about that.
Sure.
Erica had a garage. Well, I'm going to start by saying I would call it a garage sale, but since she's in a city, we would say it's a
stoop sale.
Which, by the way, I was thinking about it when I was talking to you yesterday briefly about what a garage sale is, and then we said yard sale.
Yeah,
I started looking it all up, and it's actually funny because like people from the Northeast, like us, use those two terms interchangeably, yard and garage, even if you don't have a yard or a garage. Okay.
Yeah, like they'd say garage sale. Like we didn't have a garage. We put everything on the porch or like in the driveway. We didn't have a garage, but you still called it a garage sale anyway.
And there are other terms such as a tag sale.
Yeah.
Which I think if you're going to say tag sale, it just, the image I get is like an 80-year-old woman. You're going to come back with spools of yarn from a tag sale.
So yarn. Or it sounds like more like a organized thing where people are selling junk that they made or something. Or like they're antiques or something. I don't know. Tag sale
or a rummage sale, which just to me sounds like rummage sounds like complete garbage you just tossed out the window.
You know what though? I'll tell you, my mom used to, so me and my sister were 4 years apart. So when we were like high school, junior high, 90s, we were really into like the throwback t-shirts and the ringer tees and so you had to go to, Salvation Army or a rummage sale. And my mom would tell me, oh, you got to go to like, the richest neighborhoods when their church or synagogue has a rummage sale. That was her tip to us. And we used to get the coolest shit. Oh, there, see the squirrel?
See the squirrel? Yes. Oh. But anyway, she called it a rummage. So she called it a rummage.
That was like the church things would be rummage sales.
So that's more like an organized thing.
Yeah. So, and then, okay, so what I remembered the last 2 times I did these type of things was a long time ago when I was living in Park Slope.
I remember.
And I don't remember what was going on. Do you remember that I called it the end of the world sale? Because I think it was like 2011 or 12. Remember there was these predictions that the world was going to end. It was a joke. And so I made signs all over the neighborhoods, the end of the world sale. And like a couple of my friends brought stuff. And I think Ronnie was on a business trip that weekend. And
but was that in the summer?
It was like, it felt like it was summer. I remember it was kind of hot. So it was something like that, some silly prediction of the end of the world. So that was, and then a few years ago, Ronnie and I loaded up our car and drove up to my mom's and had a yard sale, and that was a multiple family street sale, I think they called it. Because like everybody in the neighborhood, like they all chip in for the ad in the paper. And so like the real pickers, they can just walk up and down the street and look through everybody's garbage.
My uncle and aunt used to do that, but they lived like in a cul-de-sac. That's why I said that reminds me of like a cul-de-sac thing to do where like all the neighbors, you have to know your neighbors probably and talk to them.
Right.
Get together and do that. But it seems like a smart way of doing it because it'll attract a lot of people and then you just kind of like make your way through the shit.
Well, so you know what I'm talking about when you say like the people who are the expert garage sailors. I don't know what they call themselves.
They're experts, yeah.
I mean, they have to be hoarders, right? Like
no, not really. A lot of them are like, well, probably that's part of it.
Probably,
yeah. The people that put this shit in the attic, but there are a lot of people that do that looking for antiques to sell in their antique shops. Yeah.
But I think it's fair to say most of them are probably hoarders of some sort. Collectors.
Yeah.
Collectors out of control. Collectors gone wild. So we had one guy, he was sitting in his, I really wish I would have grabbed my camera and taken a photo of him, because he came both days. We did it Saturday and Sunday, and we said 8 o'clock on the ad. And so 7 o'clock, I'm up early, and I look out, and there's a guy sitting in the back of his pickup truck. And he looked like he was ready for the sale. The pickup truck had like American flags, and you could see the whole dashboard was just filled with
trinkets.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
I was like, oh, we already got people outside waiting. We better hurry up. And so we hadn't even gotten our stuff out yet. He ended up having a whole conversation with Roxanne, and we found out his name was Lone Wolf. And he came back the next day, and him and Roxanne became good friends.
Oh boy. What year was this?
Lone Wolf. What year was this? This was yesterday.
Oh, this is the same. I thought you were still
talking about the one this was this weekend. No, you would have thought the guy was from upstate. Yeah, he looked like an upstate picker.
Was he coming from somewhere else or no?
No, I don't think so. I think he lived in the neighborhood. I don't know, but this truck was.
How did you advertise? Did you advertise or no?
So Ronnie put a Craigslist ad up, and then there's a Bay Ridge Facebook group that he put some, and then I put signs on the corners. Okay. And then I went with chalk and wrote "stoop sale" with big arrows on all the corners.
Yeah.
And we have balloons out there and everything to like attract attention. I mean, we might do it next weekend just because it's 4th of July, and we said, well, we shouldn't do it because it's a holiday. And Roxanne goes, who gives a shit about 4th of July? Let's do it anyway. We all total, including, Ronnie brought out some comic books, and, they had some kind of collectibles. She brought out all these Barbie dolls. She was selling them for $20 each. We made it probably $350, $400 altogether.
That's pretty good.
The 2 days. So they both were like, let's do this next weekend. I was like, okay. There's something slightly embarrassing about it, though. Am I crazy?
I don't get embarrassed by that. Maybe I'm just trashy, but I don't get embarrassed.
Out there with my shit. I don't know, $1. What do you want to give me?
The way I see it is, you're not even really trying to make a profit. You're just trying to get rid of stuff. And if you get some money off of it, fine. You don't want to throw it out is the whole idea. Yeah. But did you actually ticket the things, or did you just?
No.
That's smart. Yeah.
No, we all knew like stuff in one area, everything there is $1. Like we all kind of knew what we, in case, and there was 3 of us. So there was always somebody outside. There's not really, the Lone Wolf was my favorite. I mean, you get the people who just want to talk, there were a lot of people that said, oh, this is so nice with everything going on that somebody's doing this and we get to see our neighbors again. And it was like,
you're like, I'm not doing this for a party. I'm not doing this as a team.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this is so neighborly, and people wanted to chit chat, which was fine. We were playing music, which out the window, so that was nice.
I think the 4th of July might be a good time to do it because people will be out.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
And nobody does anything till, and 4th of July is landing on Saturday.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, so.
I mean, people would be off anyway. So tell me your good sales story.
A couple. I mean, really, I'm like you. I associate these things with summertime, even though they don't have to be really. But like every time I would go to my mother's house to visit, when I was living in Queens or even now, when I would go in the summer, I'd like drive around and you see all the signs and all that, and like, oh, let me see what they got. Once in a while you get like a book or something like that, and depends. But years back, I honestly don't even remember how old I was. Probably around 20, 21. We went to one, my mother and I, that was a moving sale. And that's like a whole other category because you're probably going to get.
Estate sales are that's high end. Yeah, I'd like to go to an estate sale maybe.
Now, the guy who had this moving sale was a psychiatrist, well off, lived in a gorgeous house. Everything was going. Now you figure, you go to these sales, you come back with like a whisk and a 5-cent book, you know? You don't come back with anything great, really.
I don't know. I would think you get like a good bookcase or something.
Yeah, if you're looking for furniture. My mother bought a car, BMW convertible.
Wow.
Everything, they were selling everything. They're like,
Wow.
they were moving to like Florida. They couldn't take the car. The car was in great condition. They're like, come
By the
back.
way, you can't tell, but I'm in my hammock. Oh,
Oh,
here.
you're not
I'm in
swinging
the
too early.
I'm swinging. Okay, go ahead.
They're like, come back tomorrow with 10 grand. She's like, all right. Bought a car. I bought a necklace I
You
still
still
wear.
have it?
Some records. No, she had it for a couple of years and then sold it, but it was a great car.
Wow. What color?
Like a maroon.
Ooh.
So I'm like, who goes to a garage sale and buys a car? But I guess this is like the next level up.
Dorothy does.
Next level up. So the story I wanted to tell you about my personal experience with these things is like I just graduated college, and our friend that you know came with me to my mother's house. We said, we want to organize the whole thing. We want to do it. So my mother's like, great, because I don't want to have anything to do with people. This is when I was like still okay with people. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna meet people, talk to people.
yeah, we'll you know, chat with the buyers. Same thing happened what you said. First of all, the whole thing started terribly because we put an ad in the paper. They printed the ad without putting the address. They made a mistake. Like they put the street, but they didn't. I don't know. They put something wrong. I don't remember if it was the street or the number was wrong. I had some signs I made, and anyway, you get these people that show up 2 hours before the thing starts, and they're like
camping out, and you think you're like sitting there, like you have to still set everything up, and they're like looking at everything before you get them out of the boxes and stuff. It's like, oh my god.
So you know, my mother was pissed from the get-go. She's like, this guy's on the lawn, like sneaking around. I'm sneaking around. He's like, you know. So
off my lawn.
Put all this stuff up, and my mother's like, I don't want to be bothered with any people. I just want to get rid of all this crap. So we had a computer there, I remember, that was like one of these like 25-year-old computers, like one of the first computers out, desktop thing that probably weighed a ton. My mother sold the entire thing, all the pieces and everything. She's like, take the thing for $20. Well, we want to bring it home and try it out. And then can we come in your house and plug it in? No, this is not a store. There's no warranties. There's no guarantees.
I'm not charging you tax.
$20. You take it. If it doesn't work, you throw it out. That's how this goes, okay? Lady took it, called back to tell us that one of the pieces didn't work properly. My mother's like, this is not, you know.
This is why people can't have nice things, because it's shit like that. That's it. I'm never doing this again, right?
Well, I had a falling out with a guy, a friend of mine, in college, who was an artist, and he painted this picture of, I'm never going to forget it. It was like an arm holding a rat, okay? And he gave me this painting, and then we had a falling out, and I hated this guy.
You sold it. Did you sell it?
For spite, because I couldn't stand the guy. I was like, when I tell you how much I sold this for, just take a guess. I mean, it was in the beginning stages. He made like a series of these paintings afterwards, so it wasn't totally fine.
I have no idea. I'm going to tell you another story. I have no idea. It's a garage sale.
Well, the painting was an oil painting that was about, I would say, 3 feet by 2 feet, 3 by 2. Just take a guess.
$100.
Not even close. But you have to remember, this is a spite.
$5.
This is a spite sale.
I don't know. Tell me.
10 cents. I would have probably given it away. If the guy offered me a penny, I would have said, fine.
Okay. Now, see, prices outside of the city are different than prices
No,
in.
this has nothing to do with city prices. This has to do with me saying,
I hear you. When we did the thing upstate, I was putting quarters on I was like quarter, 4 for $1, like every like little glasses. And it's like, I was like, everything was so cheap. Ronnie goes, what is wrong with you? Like, you can't charge something like less than $1. Like that's crazy. Like you have to at least charge $1. And then here, he's like, this is a city. Like if somebody's going to pay $1 for it, they'll pay $2 for it. I'm like, I don't know this shit. I just want somebody to take it.
Depends what it is. It really does.
Well, so Saturday, Ronnie went live on Facebook, and both Roxanne and I, we got no warning that he was going to do that. All of a sudden I see him walking around, he's talking to his phone and he's showing off all the items. And I am like, oh, hi, so-and-so. He's talking to people on the phone and I'm freaking out because there's an item that somebody I went to college with that gave me as a present, and it has a little chip in it. I've had it since college. Mm-hmm. She gave it me as a gift, but fuck her, we're not friends anymore. And I would have, like, if somebody really liked it, I would have given it to him for $1 or whatever. I just want somebody else to have it. I don't want it anymore.
Take it off my hands, yeah.
But he's still friends with her on Facebook, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like, don't put my junk on anybody's. And so as soon as he got off the thing, Roxanne felt the same way. She goes, those shoes over there, somebody gave those to me and they don't fit me. She was like,
yeah, you're going to get called out.
You're going to get us in trouble. And and he goes, well, you shady bitches shouldn't be selling other people's shit.
That's the point of this whole thing. That's the point of it.
I just got to get rid of, I mean, I don't have to get rid of stuff. They were doing really well. Like Ronnie sold some comic books that he has been selling stuff online. Like he sold it for the same price that he would have online. So he didn't have to ship it. So, there were people interested in comic books, and there was one guy that came back. So it was, I mean, I had like a bunch of like kitchen kind of glassware and stuff like that. Oh, so then a guy pulls up in the brand new Tesla, like the bigger, like the Tesla made like a big kind of minivan kind of thing, like SUV thing. And it was like brand new. And he pulled up and then he backed up, and he like backs up, you can't even hear it. Yeah. And I'm looking at that guy, and he comes out, and I'm like, this guy's looking for, he's it's a high roller.
Yeah, 4 for $1.
Yeah.
He's not.
So I couldn't tell what he was looking at. Ronnie started chit-chatting with him, and he wanted one of my photographs that I had just kind of grabbed. I had some of my photographs framed from a show I was in. They didn't sell. Like I didn't try to sell them. They were just sitting around. So I brought them out and I kind of laid them up. They were more like decorative than I was trying to sell them. You know what I mean?
People like that stuff. People like that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and I didn't know how to gauge, like I didn't have a price in my head. And how much for this photograph? I go, oh, that one? I go, I'm the photographer. Like, I don't know why I said that. And then and I go, $10? And he goes, yeah. And I thought about it. I probably paid $20 for the frame. And I was like, whatever. But I kind of liked that he really saw it, and that was what he was looking at. I couldn't tell what he wanted. And I was like, oh my gosh, you want my photo? So
yeah,
bucks for my artwork. Yay.
You didn't have one of those situations where people start haggling to get down and down and down, because that's annoying.
No, I don't think so. I didn't. My prices were really cheap. I don't think so. I think maybe Ronnie. No, he was really good. Like you said, he's the salesman. He
yeah.
Was
it's
really
nervy. Yeah. It's a garage.
Yeah. So what else happened this week? I did get out of the neighborhood. I went down to Park Slope. A friend, the woman who I talked about, the graffiti class that I spoke to, she's the professor of the class. Mm-hmm. She invited me and Ronnie over for drinks. She met me at, like, there was a mural project that had gone. She met us there, and then we walked back to her house. And her husband are both professors, and they live in like a old storefront that got converted into an apartment, like over in Cobble Hill.
Wow, oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a very cool space. Like, I love those kind of converted apartment
Yeah,
spaces.
that's a nice neighborhood too. Like,
Yeah, it was very cool. And they've lived there since the 80s. They're
oh,
a little bit older than me. Really, really nice couple. I had such a nice time, and we just sat in their like living room and had drinks and just talked, and it was really nice. So that was my first kind of um, actual social. I mean, we've had some friends stop by, and the one friend up the street I helped paint. So like I've kind of had my bubble of some people, but that was like our first like social outing, I guess. Even though it was in their house, but
mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, I just think all these people sitting out at the restaurants, and I mean, if you just have money burning a hole in your pocket and you really have to go and sit on the street and eat food from, I mean, I don't know, I just I know we got to support the restaurants and keep, but I feel like this is such a false sense of reality of really how bad things are,
You
that
guys are,
we're opening back up, everybody's so happy, and like protests are still going on, marches, Occupy
I know.
all, they have a whole thing set up down there. It's so awesome. I was actually, before I talked to you, I was watching a friend's video. She sat down there all day yesterday with them and was making signs. And one other kind of highlight of this week that I came to the conclusion after a phone call, or not a phone call, interaction with a person, I decided that it was time for me to do something with the street art community, and I kind of called a meeting of New York City female artists, and starting kind of a support group. So we're going to meet every week and talk. There's about 20 people on it so far. Like the first discussion was just I was just talking to everybody and saying, hey, I'm reaching out. I think everybody is some kind of an activist in their own way. And if they're a female living in New York City, working on the street, like in whatever way, whatever their topic is or whatever their medium is, they're an activist, whether they like it or not. And so I kind of called a group together, and not for one particular cause or anything, but just to support each other for now. And I'm calling it Now to November.
That's interesting.
Because it's, if you want to think of it politically, you can, but you don't have to. It's not obviously political. And it's also obviously not obvious that it's all females, but it will be. Like, I don't have to say women's da 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 da. It's just all going to be women. And I don't have to hit you over the head with it. So maybe we'll do a show at the end, like at the weekend before the election or something.
That would be great.
But I really don't even think that's the ultimate goal, because we don't even know what next week looks like. And that's why I wanted to start this way, because as I felt, I think every week is like a new challenge, something different, it's hard to stay focused on something. So we're going to just talk every week and see where it goes.
Is this going to be like a virtual thing or an actual?
Yeah. For now, I mean, maybe we would like meet up small groups or something, but right now the Zoom it seemed like everybody was very comfortable with Zoom. And I know people are out doing things, but if you don't have to, you don't have to.
Yeah, you probably should. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. I want to keep us posted about how that's going to go. I'd like to see, how that unfolds.
Well, the biggest thing, what kind of also prompted me to do this, there was a girl, this is kind of a common thing. I mean, catcalling has been a thing in New York City forever, right? And it kind of got a little bit better. So when these women go out on the street and they're painting on a paid mural or, a project or whatever, I mean, the catcalling kind of did go away for a while. Well, now it's ramping back up hard. And then I also saw some protesters, some female protesters who I follow, saying, what is going on? Like, people are just harassing women. Like, it's a whole new, it's just, I don't know,
I didn't
it's like
hear that angle.
lawlessness.
I
Just
didn't.
this week,
Okay. I
just
hadn't
this
heard that
week,
angle.
some people who I know who are out on the streets painting or protesting or whatever, like, whoa, all of a sudden, like, just brutal, like everything's coming out of people's mouths,
The
and
heat's gonna bring it out. The heat's gonna
so
bring out the nuts.
so what I can do for this group of people is to say, I have the ability to make sure that within the 5 boroughs, if you're painting, you won't be alone. And if it's not me, I have people, I will make sure that you're not painting by yourself. No one should ever paint by themselves. So that's something I can do for them. And that's what and other than that, like, I hope that they can be a resource to me too. Cause I mean, I could use some resources as well. Like Ronnie told me, he said, you need to talk to somebody. And he said, I didn't mean it like a psychologist.
Oh, really? Because I took it that way too. That line just that line sounds like you should be on a sofa with your feet up.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, you need people to talk to. That's not me. Like,
Yeah.
we're.
I've had that line to me too by Eduardo. He said, um, either if I'm telling the same story over and over again that he has to hear every day, my garbage. Can't you tell someone else this? Call your friends. Like, what friends? He
Me?
means you. So
And he's like, oh, Erica's she just revs you all up. But this could be really good. I mean, but then again, a bunch of women get together and it's, sometimes that doesn't go very well either. So I really want to make the point that everybody paves their own lane. Everybody is working on their own things. We respect to that. I'm not trying to bring together everybody under some common cause. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. I hope that it can be a positive thing.
positive. Yeah, that could be positive.
But you know how women can be. I remember there was a girl who did a all female show in December, and I was asked to participate. And I remember when we looked at this list of names, and I don't know, she explained to me how she came up with this list of names, but there were women on there who hate each other.
I remember this.
Hate each other. There were people on there, I was like, it just was
Not a good mix. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was saying to the group, I don't consider myself a curator because I thought of myself as a documenter and like a historian perspective that I'm, I'm just observing, but no matter how much I think that, and that's where I'm coming from, I am curating because I'm picking what I want to talk about or what I don't want to talk about. So I have to kind of embrace that, like, I have an opinion too, or a perspective, where I always kind of think like, I'm just neutral, I'm just a storyteller. Maybe I start being a little pickier with what we talk about.
Yeah. Well, this is a great way to end on a positive note, and trying to bring people together, which is something that you don't see happening too much these days.
Especially with me.
And yeah, the fact that it's all women, I'm impressed.
Well, I think it would be really cool.
We'll see how it goes.
I think it could be a very positive thing, and I think I got to do something. Got the resume together this week. Had to completely redo it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let me see. Next weekend, you say, is 4th of July. Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay, so shall we resume on Sunday? I'm sure we'll have
we
loads.
might have to do Monday again because we're gonna do Saturday.
Okay. No, that's fine.
When I called you, it was like I had just finished hauling all the stuff out. My back was screaming. And the people were showing up, and I was like, I can't go I was gonna come in the backyard and talk to you, but
no, that's fine. But I think you'll have a lot of stories just for 4th of July in general.
Of course. How's Violetta and Alex?
They're fine. They're getting by. And I don't know. Maybe I'll try to celebrate, do something proactive as an American.
Oh yes, we have to talk about your book readings. I haven't watched a lot of TV or anything. We've totally gone over our time.
That's
You have
okay.
to go
No,
pro.
I've been bombarded with webinars. I can't even. The plan for the fall is kind of out, and it's looking ugly. And I'm done. Decided today. I plugged into a webinar, listened to about 15 minutes of it. Just couldn't believe how annoying it was, and disconnected. So I'm done for the
What
summer.
was the subject?
How to use different mediums, on our technological platforms and that we have, and the people giving the webinars are not teachers; they're just tech people. So they go. I think it should be held in a way where you more like a workshop where they give you a task, you do it, and then you can't just tell. You know what? I'm not going to bore you. If I have to go
No,
back,
I understand. No, Ronnie's a tech person. When he tries to explain something to me, it's like, can you please talk to me in English?
and do it
Or,
with the person.
or do it with me step
Yeah.
by step, because you just blanket the whole thing, and I can't. Yeah, it's the right kind of person has to communicate
Facilitate the
that
thing.
stuff. Yeah, I know.
So I decided, well, end of June, end of work. So I'm like done. And yeah, so next week we'll see, what new stories we have in terms of outdoor fiestas.
I hope I get to Coney Island. I want to be
Ah,
able to share a Coney experience with you. We can talk about Coney. I
yes.
know I've got to get out there. They did like some kind of mermaid parade. Like, I mean, I know the girl who designed the T-shirts, and they still were selling them, and
Uh-huh.
they were trying to kind of honor it. I think there might have been like a peaceful protest or something, but not like a whole organized mermaid parade. But the beach is open.
Well, here's to the grillers. Here's to the grillers. All right. Well, take care. Have a good week.
The curlers will survive. It's
They
like
will. They can survive anything.
all right.
Peace. Love you. Have a good week. Bye, everyone.